A few more notes. Again, there are several weather situations that can lead to flooding, and so it's important to be aware of some of the safety considerations there. If in a situation where that's a possibility, keep alert to weather information, and if there is any threat, move to higher ground. A very important safety consideration, don't try to wait or drive through places where water is flowing across a road, especially if it seems to be flowing fast. The safety slogan here is turn around, don't drown. These days we do have decent weather service warning for people getting out of the way, but you have people, and they do tend to be male, who decide I can get through this and then find out that they can't. So actually driving or wading into something you shouldn't and then getting washed away is a significant risk. There are two problems within this. One is it takes rather less water than you'd think to be able to wash you off your feet or wash a car off of a bridge. Secondly, if the bridge is underwater and in flooding, typically that water's got some mud stuff in it, can't see very well, you don't know if the bridge is still there. There could be a hole, and of course you drive into that and fall down in the hole. That's not going to be good for you. If you have a vehicle caught in rising water, leave the vehicle, seek higher ground. Vehicle in the water, actually, yes, climb out the window, swim away, that's safer. Be careful for overnight camping or parking next to a stream or along a dry bed, especially in, say, desert area. Those are areas where water can potentially rise pretty quickly and be a problem. This is especially true in more desert areas. One, the area may be dry, not obviously where there would be water. Around here, you probably can kind of figure out that you shouldn't stick your tent right next to the creek. But in a more desert area, hey, this looks like a nice little valley, got some trees around. But if there's thunderstorm, possibly well uphill from where you are, that could be bad. Nighttime, again, hard to see things, there's more risk. As an illustration of the problem of washed out roads, here's one. If I can find the link. There we go. So decides to try driving through the puddle, and instead the top part front end of his truck breaks and he's waiting to be rescued. Yes, the road was not there where he thought it would be. And there's somebody coming along trying to figure out how to get some help. Coastal storms, hurricane, tropical storm, things like that coming in. The slogan there is run from the water, hide from the wind. You may remember we had a video on storm surge that mentioned that. Basic idea, if you're in an area that's at risk from flooding, then you should evacuate. Don't forget that you have the tide and storm waves on top of the storm surge. Now the Weather Service can put the tide into their model pretty readily, but just what the waves on top, that's going to be something hard to predict. It's not in the standard model. So be aware that where they say is likely to be flooded is not counting areas higher than that that can still be affected by the waves. So flood areas, evacuate. Flooding, doesn't matter if you're inside, outside, it's going to get in and stay for a long time. Wind, if that's the only problem, then getting into a first floor or basement small room like a closet, sheltering there, like for a tornado. That will provide you protection, but being down on a bottom floor small interior room is not a good thing if it's flooding. If the room is full of water, that is bad for your health. So if flooding is a risk, evacuate. If it's just the wind, taking shelter works. A quick note on styles of flooding. Of course, we've talked a lot about storm surge, but up away from the coast, two common options are either flash flooding or regional flooding. Flash flooding is where we have a specific instant of heavy rain, such as with thunderstorms, and that's enough to overwhelm the amount that the local creek or river can carry away, and you have rapid rise in your local water level. Regional flooding is when you have not necessarily one bit of heavy rain, but it keeps on raining for quite some time, and this gradually leads to there being more water around than the rivers can handle. Also, in the spring, melting for places that get significant snowfall, in the winter accumulating as you move into spring, and that's melting if you have a lot of it melting relatively quickly. Again, that can be more than the capacity of the rivers, and the water level gets above the banks. Now, this builds up more slowly. You do have warning, but it sticks around a long time, and basically the problem with regional flooding is, I don't think it's already come all the way to me, I'll stay. And then guess what, it does come all the way to you. So, regional flooding, you've got more warning, but it covers a bigger area, potentially a bigger mess. Flash flooding happens very quickly, it's more local, but harder to prepare for and prevent. And again, we've got a link here, an example of flash or maybe flush flooding. Heavy rain, you see mountains in the background, so rain there washing down pretty fast. And we have a porta potty being washed away. By the flooding.